Hi, this is Mr. Chesser. Today I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to take notes for your courses. I'm going to do this by showing you how I would set some notes up for a biology class, but you can use this trick for any of your BUZZ coursework, especially in your sciences. I get asked the question really frequently, well, I'm just not sure what to study for when it comes to studying for the final or studying for a test or studying for the DBA. And so I usually tell people, well, you can study these things. And I finally realized I should just make this into an assignment. So you're going to have an assignment after this, which is going to be to try to practice some of the skills I teach you in this lesson. You don't have to do these skills, but I would strongly recommend them for best success in your course. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to see I'm in my biology class. Not everybody has biology. Sorry, that was a text. Not everybody has biology, but it's going to look pretty much the same in all of your science classes, at least, and probably your other classes too. So first, I'm going to scroll through Mr. Chesser's ridiculously long welcome screen. I know that people think it's too long. Sorry. I may work on that at some point. Now I'm going to go to the first lesson down here, which is called Foundations of Biology, or the first folder, first unit. And I'm just going to go to this first, we're going to go to this assignment right here, Exploring Life, which is one of the early units in biology, okay? Again, this is going to work for classes other than biology. I'm just using biology as an example here. So I'm going to click on Exploring Life, and it's going to open up a lesson. And this is a trick with BUZZ that will give you a great idea of what BUZZ thinks is the important parts in this unit. Okay, you notice there's 8 pages of this unit. Probably the last page or 2 are going to be an assignment of some sort. But on page 1, which is where we are, 1 of 8, on all of the science courses and most of the rest, if you'll scroll to the bottom, you'll see this. A little bullseye with a kind of stylized arrow, maybe some little places where arrows have hit before, I guess is what that's supposed to be. And importantly, the word objectives, okay? And you can see that the objectives for this unit are the following. After completing this lesson, you will be able to, we hope. 1, explain what can be considered science and how science is practiced. 2, identify science versus pseudoscience. 3, identify what types of questions can be answered by science. 4, apply the scientific method to a variety of scenarios. 5, explain the difference between a law and a theory. Those are a summation of what the authors think are the most important things you should be able to do at the end of this lesson. And I can tell you right now that if they put that there in the summation, that means there's a decent chance that one or part of or one of these combined with something else might come up in a DBA and will probably be asked on the test. Okay? So that means that if you take the objectives from each lesson, you can create for yourself, 1, a great set of notes, and 2, a study guide for the test. Okay? So we're going to do that right now. And what I'm going to start with is something I showed you in how to turn stuff in, which is I'm going to copy and paste this. Okay? This is a case where it's okay for you to copy and paste. You're using these to create some notes for yourself. You're not turning this in and presenting it as your own work, which would be what copyright violation or plagiarism would be. You're simply taking some notes for your own benefit to help yourself know what to study for the course. So here's what we're going to do to start with. I'm just going to copy, whoops, that's weird. I'm just going to copy all of this stuff by highlighting it. Now I'm going to do Control C for copy. You could right click and do copy here, but see how it says Control C? Control C is faster. I did that on my keyboard. Then that's on my clipboard now, okay? This information's been copied. I'm going to minimize this window. And you'll see I've set up a folder set. I advise that you do this back in How to Turn Stuff In. I still advise it now. In this case, I've named this folder set 2019 through 2020 schoolwork. I'm going to double click that. And you can see I set myself some folders up for some pretend classes I might be in. And we're in biology, so I'm going to go ahead and go into biology. And I'm going to make a new Word document here by right-clicking and doing New Microsoft Word document. You could also do this in Google Docs. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. And I'm going to call this Word document Unit 1 Notes. Okay, because that's basically what this is. This is the first lesson of the first unit. And all this stuff is stuff I would study in order to study for the unit test, Unit 1 DBA, and then the Unit 1 test. And then later I'd take all these notes and study them all together for the first final. So I'm going to double click that now to open it. Remember, I already copied those objectives and they're on my clipboard. Ooh, there was the gray path and white path. Now, I copied those, so if I do Control V, it's going to paste that. I could have also right-clicked and done paste. But here's all that stuff, okay? Objectives. After completing this lesson, you will be able to. Now, I'm going to make some notes here real quickly. I'm going to change this to not just objectives, but objectives lesson 1. That way I know if I have a question about something in this section, I can go, ooh, that was from the lesson 1. So if I have some questions, that's where I go back to look, right? You could also, and I'm going to go ahead and go do this, we could go back to that lesson, and that was called Exploring Life. If you look up here in the top left, you'll see that's called Exploring Life. So I'm going to minimize again, or I'm going to switch back to this Unit 1 notes. And I'm going to say Lesson 1, Exploring Life. Now, if you're lost and you're like, oh man, I don't know where this came from, you can just look at the top. Hey, that was from Lesson 1, Exploring Life. And now it's basically got the start of an outline for the notes that we need, okay? Because it's already told us after the completing this lesson, you'll be able to do these things. Explain what can be considered science and how science is practiced. Identify science versus pseudoscience, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to highlight these and make them a little bigger because I'm an old man. So, I'm going to push this up to 14-point font. And then the next thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to hit enter right here. I'm going to hit twice and get a little space in between each of these. 3 times each. Now, why would I be doing that? You think to yourself, what is he doing here? What I'm doing here is creating some spots where I can now put my notes in order to answer these questions. So the headers are the questions that I'll need to be able to answer that might show up in a DBA or in a unit test. Those are the questions the unit told me, hey, this is what you need to know. Your answers can be down here. So now you want to keep these in mind. You're going to go read lesson 1 and you're going to go, okay, this is the stuff I'm supposed to learn. So we keep an eye out for that. When you get to one of those answers, type your thoughts on that answer in here. Don't type exactly what the lesson says. I mean, that's okay, but you can't use that as an answer somewhere else. This would be a great place for you to practice putting these notes into your own words. Okay, so this is where I would take notes. Explain what can be considered a science and how science is practiced. As you learn that lesson, we'll go take a look at it. Oh, I'm running out of recording time. Okay, I'm going to pause that. No, I'm not. I'm not going to show you to take notes today. I'm going to show you one other thing in the 20 seconds we have left if possible. Once you've done Objective 1, Lesson 1, I'm going to close that, and I'm going to go to Lesson 2, the Chemistry of Life. I'm going to copy the next set of objectives right here, and I'm going to do the same thing in that document that I did before.